Now we go to the back office.
Inside this room here.
Okay, I'll come in with you.
Well, this is a good room, I think, for a meeting. Good ventilation. Which one of you is in charge here?
That'd be me. It's good to meet you in person, Capitan.
Commander. It's a pleasure meeting you as well. Thank you for meeting us halfway. We have significant resources at the airfield, which is why we requested you go there. Yeah, but I understand you not wishing to go. But it does leave us rather vulnerable in our positions to be here for very long, so I'm afraid we'll have to make this as brief as possible, Commander.
Understood. Well, I suppose we'll get right down to business then. I don't suppose you and your men know anything about these bombs from earlier today. They shook the walls on the south coast, and a lot of men want answers.
That looked to me to be of high sophistication. The only way people who would have something of that size would be the United States or us, really. So, seeing as we have no real reason to destroy the quarantine efforts, trying to contain things from spreading into our country, I think it's quite obvious that it is probably not us involved.
Makes about as much sense as I would hope. Doesn't really tell us who did
Putin is
do it
not
or is
stupid.
responsible, but yes, I suppose it was probably foolish to even suspect, but I guess I'll keep digging around and see if I can find out an answer of what the hell that was, what its intention was, and who it was.
I wouldn't worry too much. We've scrambled the Air Force as far as I know. There will be no strikes on mainland. We will shoot anything out of the sky. At best they can fire something in the water, maybe some sort of missile. But we are well defended here, I think. Any such thing would be shot down well before it could do any real sort of damage. Especially because you can see missiles on the radar. So, no worry about the nukes. We'll figure out what happened to the fleet later. Now we need to focus on things that we actually have control over, you understand? People's lives and the quarantine that we must impose to protect Russia. I believe you want to protect the people's lives here. I am amiable to this quest as well, sir. But of course it is secondary to our mission. But if we can accomplish both, we are more than willing to help. That being said, what do you need?
Well, sir, our objective in this country is first and foremost to aid and assist and provide security to the Russian Defense Force. If they collapse, this country collapses, and that would be terrible for both of our organizations. The UN doesn't have any interest in a collapsed Chernarus, as I'm sure Russia would like a secure government and a stable CDF to keep the situation relatively under control.
Are you saying the CDF is currently stable? I have not even heard of them. I've moved men all across South Mongolia. I have not heard a peep. Where are they?
I have reason to believe that there are still remnants of the Russian Defense Force active and stable in this country. I'm not sure of their numbers yet, but I've been reached out to by a lieutenant claiming to be a Russian Defense Force soldier in a military installation who sought talks with the United Nations. I intend to meet them within the next 24 hours, assess their situation, and provide any logistical support that I can provide them.
Do they control a town? Or are there safe zones? What is the situation for the civilian populace?
I only got a radio frequency from the man claiming to be a lieutenant. He said he would provide me with grid coordinates that should be relayed within the next 10 hours. Once that situation has been secured and their base has been established, we'll make our way to their position.
Between you and me, this isn't a very large country, Commander. If there was any sort of real safe zone, Any sort of real military effort to protect the people, we would know of it. It does not exist.
May I ask, Commander, is your first priority to help the CDF maintain control or to help the civilians themselves?
Shall I go in the building?
We have a multiple mandates. If you're asking our main priority, our highest priority is not the CDF, but rather the safety and security of the World Health Organization, so that they can achieve their mission and figure out whatever this illness is and get it under control.
Well, I do not wish to speak for the Capitan, but it seems that we would like these goals as well, as if the civilians are happy here, they're not coming into Russia, and they're not crossing the border, and they're not infecting our country.
Yeah, we were making our way around the wall.
I said, what is your effective force protecting your WHO doctors? How many men do you have? What is the situation? You said you were being overrun.
Yes, well, I've lost contact with 1st and 3rd battalions, but 2nd Battalion is down from 100 men to 50 effective fighting men. 50 peacekeepers is my current strength.
And do you intend to stay there, or do you wish a more secure position?
We've got a base down south. Looked like it had been abandoned when the evacuation took place, but I'm not sure how secure it's going to be. There's already a large number of odd-looking civilians showing up in clown masks with assault rifles. It may not be secure for very long. It's not very defensible.
No, we've heard of these people. Sorry to speak out of place, but we have heard of these people. We've had reports from civilians, 2 or 3 recently. The lady that we had earlier detained, her mouth was wired together by these people. So it is something to look
You're
forward to.
speaking to the religious people, the ones who broadcasted that statement not too long ago. Is that who you're speaking about, or are these different parties?
I have not been informed of a broadcast, but they sound like they're full black, clown mask the woman described.
The freaks.
Seems we already have people running around as if they are psychopaths.
Thank you for the information, there, the boy. I was not
problem.
aware.
Jesus. There are some very strange people in South Segoria. I must say I've never heard of this sort of behavior anywhere else. But it is not my country, and it is not my place to judge. What is my place to judge is how to, how you say, as the lieutenant had said, keep the population happy. I have no intention of moving south. We do not have the resources to cover an entire country and keep it safe. What we can do is keep the area around the airfield and the northern side more or less patrolled. If you are losing your men as fast as you say you are, I would be willing to have you under our armed support in the north here. We would recommend you set up a safe zone, which we would, how you say, help you defend as you conducted your medical research and assisted the population in regards to the infection.
Any assistance in providing a safe area for the World Health Organization personnel to conduct their research would be vital to the success of our mission. I hadn't considered this, but you may have an excellent proposal. Is there a particular safe zone that you have in mind?
We have a very strong foothold in Cabanino. On the daily, we send a squad there to remove the infected. However, if you want to set up there, it will be 24/7 coverage. We will make sure no infected are in the town, and we will patrol the eastern road from Novi all the way to Vybor, looking for bandits. It will be safe. But you will have to provide, how you say, services to the people. We do not have the resources to do the, how you say, the humanitarian effort side of things.
Yeah.
We only have bullets.
Capitan is saying is that we will protect you and make sure that things are free for you to do what you like. However, we have our own missions to accomplish. You will handle the civilians. We might send them to you if we come across them on the airfield, etc., etc.
Colonel, if you wish, I can try and fetch Dr. Capella if you wish her to be here.
Please do. I would need her input on this.
Whom?
If that Cabanino is
Dr. Capella.
suitable.
Dr. Capella,
Who
one
is
of our
Dr.
one of our leading World Health Organization's people.
Capella? I see.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'll
Yes,
go and get her quickly.
Thank you, Major. Dr. Capella is one of the world's leading forensic pathologists. She aims to get to the bottom of this illness, and any survivors that you can point our way in this Cabanino town may be critical to unlocking the mystery, and maybe even developing some kind of cure. Stabilize the situation. Maybe this thing will be over quicker than we thought.
Meeting here in a moment.
Hopefully we'll figure out what happened and how they got here. That would be good, I think.
For us, and especially
What sort of size of facility will you need guarded? How large is your organization's footprint, as it were? How big of a building do you need?
Our current base is located near Chernogorsk, an old abandoned hospital, and we've got several military tents, about 50 UN peacekeepers, and about 10 World Health Organization field researchers. This is Dr. Capella. She's leading the charge in terms of our research team and investigating this outbreak. Dr. Capella, this is Captain Kirchhoff, and he's proposing a combined effort, safe zone, that we could conduct your research in safely without having to worry about gray aggression or banditry.
Nice to meet you, Captain.
Pleasure as well, madame.
Captain. I am Lieutenant Donomak. I apologize, I did not introduce myself already.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Yeah. Right, so hopefully I think as we're all coming together here, this is something we can all work together on.
How well are
This
you
is the,
supplied?
proposed
Do you
location.
have your own munitions? Do you have your own food? Do you have your own medical supplies? How well are you supplied here?
Does it have a medical clinic that we can use with ventilation?
Well, Capitan, we're fairly well supplied with what's left, but as far as that particular location, the doctor has a point. There's no medical facility there, although we could probably convert some of the barns in this industrial area to suit our needs. There's also a potential command post down the road, an old derelict church. It could be suitable.
Are you suggesting I do autopsies in a church, sir?
Well, I'm sure we could unravel some plastic on the floor and walls, and make it relatively sterile.
Our airplanes had to land on the shitty gravel of the fucking Northwest airfield. It is not what we like to land on with our pristine airships. However, we deal with what we are given. You make lemonade out of lemons, I think. In situations such as these.
Yes, sir. I just would like to not disrespect anyone in religion, of course.
I don't think you have to worry about that, Doctor. But yes, if it may not be the top-of-the-line, cutting-edge medical facility that I'd be looking for, but I'm sure we could make do with some of the remaining medical supplies in the surrounding hospitals in the area. We could send out scavenging runs to retrofit this barn area to whatever you need, a stretcher, medical instruments, autopsy tools, and get your research kick-started. The top priority is it'll be safe.
Cabanino is a small town. It's easier to hold. It's closer to our assets. We'll have more boremen and more rifles closer nearby to secure this sort of facility. Anything farther east, south, or west would be unsuitable, I think, for our operation. Gabonino must be it. It is the safest position that we can help you in. And if we are safe, you are safe. I believe this is the best choice.
Very good. I believe the Capitan has a good point. Dr. Capella, Major, either of you have any reason to believe that this Cabanino town here might not be suitable for our needs?
Without actually having a look at the town itself, I can't find anything right now.
I have no complaints.
Very good.
How long will it take you to move your supplies from the south to the north? Will you need a military escort in doing so? What do you need from us to make this happen?
Capitan, I believe we have a military transport vehicle at our disposal. As long as it's still running and we've got the correct parts, I believe we can get the gear moved up and our personnel moved into town in 48 hours at the most.
You do not need our assistance in this move?
I don't believe so. We have enough people that I think we can undertake the move ourselves, although I'd be happy to reach out if logistical support is requested.
There are strange men about. I don't know why, but strange men like attacking people for some reason. So be careful with your supplies. Do you wish to go to Cabanino now? I would like to know where you are setting up, where I need to have my men patrolling, that sort of thing.
I believe we need to get our men back to Camp Sierra Romeo, get the news out, but if, Major, if I could get a small security detail, I could go with the Capitan here to survey the town and then regroup at Sierra Romeo.
Very well, that sounds good.
Give me that speaking fellow at the door, and one other personnel.
Understood.
Capitan. I will,
Lieutenant.
Would you like me to
Take care.
form somebody of the boys up to provide security for us on this small escort mission?
No, I want you to take an advanced force right now and clear the entire town of infected. I do not want to be interrupted on this mission. Take 3/4 our force. Leave me a few privates for myself.
Yes,
that's
right.
Understood. You will become accompanying Colonel onto the town of Cabanino.
Good.
Get on it, Lieutenant.
See how it looks like.
You stay here. Make sure that the
Just
Capitan
me
is
and
safe.
anyone else?
You will bring in with you 1 more unit soldiers. What's the location of the rest of the peacekeepers?
Very good. Doctor, will you be escorting us to this Cabanino town? We can have a first-hand look around this place. Maybe give some input as far as its medical advantages.
You, Ryadovoy, follow me.
Sure, if that is okay with you, Capitan.
That's all I need.
You too, Private.
You would be welcome. I think you being happy would make the rest of us happy. We want to have as clean as facilities as possible for you, and we need to know how to plan this town out.
This is Viper Actual
If we're going to have a safe zone there, it's going to be a logistical nightmare for civilians. If we go in there without first planning where things will be what.
Over.
Yes, sir. If end all but be all, if we can't get the correct facilities in this country, I don't mind just working in an open-ended barn. At least I'll be able to get my job done and help out more than what we're currently doing. We are lacking a few researchers from the loss, and I can only do the best of my ability.
Someone's way.
It's shitty out there right now. We're trying to make things less shitty as best we can. Unfortunately, it's not going to be easy. First couple of days here, I know how hard it is to get a hold of people. Hard to find official government presence these days. I'm very pleased to know that the UN is still here and working.
We've already started search, sir. So you feel a little bit more relaxed in anything that you may be doubting.
No, I do not doubt the UN. The UN is a strong organization that spans across the globe. It is the CDF that bothers me right now. They do not respond to the radios, they do not reach out, and no one has seen them. This is problematic, I think. But if we have no intel, we have to assume the worst. And sitting on our hands is not an option I'm willing to take. That being said, shall we get moving to Cabanino, or is there other pressing matters that will wait?
Well, there is just one small matter, Capitan, and I don't mean to offend you with this question, but I just need to be crystal clear here. There have been whispers around the radio net with Russian involvement in this region, and with the disappearance of most CDF personnel and the explosions surrounding the Kamensk military base before the illness spread, I just need to be sure that both of our interests align in terms of the stability of the Churn Russian Defense Force. There have been some people who said that the Russians are here to eliminate remaining CDF forces or somehow recapture certain areas for Russia. Basically, the main concern I've heard is Crimea Part 2. Dr. Capella, your back is going to start to hurt if you don't straighten out eventually. Chiropractor's going to have a day with you.
If we had one. Sorry, bad joke.
My radio's going crazy.
Colonel, you have two peacekeepers waiting for you. The one Russian-speaking in Falcon Fall will be accompanying you to Cabanino.
The Capitan will meet us in Cabanino. We'll take you there now. I'll follow you with a private escort.
Sounds suitable. All right then.
Very well. I'll get the man ready.
As to your question about the Russian interests, if we had any, I'm sure this is just me speaking on my personal behalf. If we had any idea or want or need to take over the country, we would have done it by now with force. There is nothing stopping us on the northern border, so I wouldn't be worried about that.
True.
Falcon Actual, this is
Yes,
Actual.
I thought the same. I just wanted to make sure that the air was clear. You know how people jump to conclusions, Crimea Part 2 and all that. But it's good to know. Thank you.
Please go for it.
Thank you.
All right.
Sir?
Falcon 3, we need you here by the meeting building.
If we have any language barriers, by the way, I do speak a certain amount of languages, some not so fluently. If you need help in any sort of situation, let me know.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we won't need to use that. One of the sergeants escorting me is fluent in Russian.
Falcon
Thank you,
3, do you
Falcon 3, this is Handman 1, over. Falcon 3, please come to the administrative building ASAP, over.
Right, Major. Me and Dr. Capella are ready to be escorted to Cabanino by our Russian friends here. Where's the sergeant who's escorting?
Falcon 3 is coming right now.
I am the sergeant.
Copy.
Behind you.
We're waiting on Falcon 3.
Stage computer. We may
just
continue
waiting for Falcon
whenever
3
you
to
want.
come.
Yeah, if Falcon 3's lagging behind, I'll pick someone else.
I'm here, sir.
You're right here.
There we are. Good of you to come. All right, we're ready to go. We'll follow your lead, Sergeant.
What is it?
Colonel, I'll be accompanying the rest of the UN personnel back to Sierra Romeo.
Thank you, Major. Check in once you return safely.
Understood. Come with me.
Taking an exit to the northern hall, or are we going through the gate to the right?
Good. We can go through the gate if you wish.
It's infected to the left, it makes more sense to avoid.
Agreed. Wouldn't be a bad idea if we were to pick up the pace once we leave the compound. A large gathering of people draws attention.
Yes, that would be fine. People are fit, ready for some cardiovascular exercise.
I would hope so. Red away, please get
Sound
engaged.
Hello?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Am I speaking loud enough now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am
Roger.
chief of COBR, Interior
Sorry.
Ministry. I was just using your facilities in there. I'll be on my way out now.
No.
Sorry for the intrusion.
Привет, who might you be?
Good day, gentlemen. I'll be on my way now.
Alright then, let us pick up the pace.
Did I just see a green beret on that man?
Out of character, I'm having a problem.
A Cherno Russian spy.
Can,
If we could hold up for one moment, Dr. Capella seems to be, she's got a rock in her boot or something.
I can't do anything.
By all means.
We should probably get the boys to keep an eye on the green.
Double tap the key that you're leaning towards.
Double tap E. Double tap E.
Question.
No, I'll get on already.
Victor,
What's happening right now, guys?
This is Victor 4, do you copy?
Oh my god.
What's happening?
Mind it.
We have a Cherno Russian running from the Vybor military complex towards Cabernet.
Dr. Capella, we don't have time to wait.
Insufficient permissions.
Black with a green beret.
UN personnel,
The
Sandman 1.
Kalashnikov variant.
Any remaining UN personnel at the Vybor military complex?
Apologies,
At the blue
sir.
gate on the east side of the compound. Over.
We're ready. May we proceed?
Thank you.
Out of character real quick, my dad shut off my internet, so I'm coming back.
Simon, actual, this is Simon 1. Go ahead, over.
The CDF personnel, green beret, full black backpack.
Please repeat those frequencies. Simon, actual, that's a solid copy. Over.
Sound resumed. Sound resumed. Sound muted.
You seem to be right, Dr. Capella. I never see any greys out here in the fields. It seems like they're all focused around places where people... Maybe it's where they used to live or work. I don't know.
Yeah. But why would they stick around areas like so when they have an open field, you know?
Maybe it's just a part of their mind still alive. They just like being where they used to. Would you like your weapon back, sir?
Not yet. I've still got the radio here. On the way back to Sierra Romeo, I'll take it back, though. Thanks.
Sure. Roger.
Oh, yeah, that's one standing way out there, isn't it? I thought that was a sentry. Oh, it is. What the hell is that?
Is someone running behind us?
Radovoy, do we have any information on the man behind us to our left?
Checking now. Personnel on the radio, are any of you running from the Vybor military compound right now? Lieutenant on my pitch.
It's our lieutenant, he had some bowel issues.
What's the lieutenant's name again?
Ermak.
Lieutenant Ermak, okay.
Bermak?
Yeah, I'm never so good with names. I'll try, though.
Stick to the title, it's easier. Oh!
Well.
It's okay, it's okay. It's just clearing.
I'm just clearing out the town. Nothing to be worried about. I think this town's got a lot of potential as a potential shared safe zone. If Russian Federation and the United Nations work together to secure a perimeter, this place could be central to unlocking this disease.
Simon 1 coming over.
Have you checked the church? I'll come and collect you in a moment.
Holy gee, that's a lot. Wait,
Sandman 1, this is Sandman Actual. Go ahead, over.
Simon Actual just spotted 5 civilians with weaponry heading towards the town of
For now, if you could.
They were wearing clown masks. Over.
Very well.
Oh!
You come to me?
Solid copy, Sandman 1. I'll make sure that we are aware and ready for their arrival. Sandman Actual.
Automatic weapon from that little military compound.
How many people did he have in the town that need to take out?
I think that,
the break thing.
Starshina, could you just make sure this man is safely escorted out of town?
Not exactly sure. The Major probably had a solid count.
In the way of the UN here.
Will you do it?
No, no problem. If you could follow me,
I'll just head on over to Vybor.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's
to worry about.
That is fine. He
You
will
guys
just make
follow
sure
me?
that you do
We'll,
not get,
we'll just
attacked by
escort
one of the
you, better
infected.
Alright.
Lieutenant?
Yes.
I just got a radio comm from my second-in-command who noted 5 armed civilians heading towards Cavadino. He said they were wearing clown masks.
From which direction?
It would be coming from the south.
Do you know their ETA on arriving here?
He spotted them as he was heading south from the Vybor military complex, so if they were running north and they were heading here, I'd probably say they'll be here within 5 minutes.
Right. Guess we're going to kill some clowns. Hold on. Gentlemen, we have some clowns that seem to be coming to this... I know you know, but here's the deal. They're about to be here in a... They're here already. I see. You might want to get your men set up.
Anyone here need the automatic rifle? I got accident.
Sergeant, I'll take that rifle back now, if you don't mind.
There's an automatic rifle.
Here you go, sir.
It's a American scum weapon. I don't need that, but I need you guys.
She doesn't know how to use a rifle.
Well, perhaps you guys need an extra.
I guess
could always
if
use
it's an
an-
offer to us, we'll take it. I'll carry it on my back. She'll probably learn how to use a rifle eventually. You know? know
Maybe
where
you
you
should teach me.
Yeah, what do you think?
We don't need to worry about this right now. We have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. We'll keep it in mind.
I'd like to stick with the lieutenant, make sure that we're kept apprised.
You could just come and check out these people to make sure if they are the people that you're having problems with, and we'll deal with them swiftly now.
Well, we haven't had any direct problems, per se, but,
You should know, Colonel. I don't know if you know this, but they did throw a flashbang or some sort while you were sleeping in the FOB.
That Clomas, the one that was in a campus?
You guys are all busy here. I suppose we'll be heading out. I guess. Well,
I will not stop you from leaving. I do have a question, if you do not mind. I've heard rumors of people in these masks grabbing people. I do not know how true this is, but if you could explain.
Oh, I'm the only guy who I've seen wearing one of these masks around here, like the past 2 days, I suppose. I try to keep the zombies off of my face. Sometimes they get the jump on me, and I like my eyes where they are, you know.
Oh yes, of course, that makes perfect sense. Hold one.
This is a game of fucking.
Excuse me,
if I can find something
Commander.
different. Is there like a ballistic mask around here?
These
Maybe
men with the clown
anything
masks.
else.
it was multiple of them, yes, not just one that you've heard.
The report I received was that there were people, 5 I think, heading towards the town, armed, at least one clown mask.
Alright, well, where's the... Sir?
Where did he go? We have a man out to the right over here behind us. Kind of on a tree.
Don't know what's happening here.
Alright, nothing's happening.
Jeez, man.
Nothing is happening. Everything is fine.
Darsini Lieutenant.
Excuse my pal back wherever he went.
I don't really see a problem with these men. As long as they do not have any automatic rifles, we cannot prove that these are the same men that you heard rumors about. Anyone could have found any of these carnival masks and put them on. This man might just be protecting his face, as he says.
I agree. I've met this man, so if you were to let them go, I have
There's
no
a
problem
couple
with
more men coming now.
May I suggest something?
Please.
Perhaps they comply to a voluntary search for any more masks. We could,
well, not our business. There are people,
Yeah,
imagine people in these carnival masks, my dude. Yeah. You just keep our eyes open, I suppose.
I mean, it might be hard to miss.
The general wouldn't have seen any wayward World Health Organization personnel, have you? We had a doctor go missing recently.
I have no idea what
shit,
he's
really?
talking about.
Would it be Dr. Anderson? I was talking to him earlier today. He checked me out, checked out the wound on my chest.
No, Dr. Anderson's fine. Well, that's fine. If you haven't seen any trace of the missing doctor, that's quite all right. Thanks for the tip anyway, though.
Yeah, I've barely seen people until today.
Yeah. Find Robert Vogel again, man. I know he wanted to say something running to you guys.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, Denton, you were saying something. I didn't want to cut you off, my friend.
I was gonna say, how would we know the person is a doctor if we were to find them?
Lab coat?
Well, he should introduce himself as a World Health Organization representative, probably medical scrubs or lab coat or something like that.
Speak up. These men talk very loud. If you wish to get into the conversations with men, you must speak over.
Dr. Capella, yes, I was just telling him about there's a missing doctor.
An ID? Yeah, the ID badge. Yeah, we should be carrying them at all times.
Alright. Keep our eyes open.
Excuse me, I serve with the Halloween mask. Could I have your name? My name is Sergeant Rodriguez.
I'm Milo, hi.
Hi, Milo.
I gave my ID a little while ago to one of the God, I'm always confused with ranks and...
Well, it's not like we're on a computer system. It's not like we all tell each other everything.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, I'm just confirming that if it is mentioned later on or further, I gave my ID to one of the Red Beret guys. VDV,
right.
Or is it Russian?
VDV, yes. So, Milo, we are having a meeting here with the UN. However, I see no reason to detain you or anything of that sort of nature. These masks, I have no problem with you wearing them. I understand it. It is good protection. It makes sense. It's good. Just do be aware that we are hearing rumors of people wearing these masks committing heinous acts. So do be aware you might get a bit of a reputation for wearing one. But that is your choice. I have no problem with you wearing it.
Maybe you can try and improve the reputation.
Of course.
You know that never happens.
Possible.
As soon as something's tarnished, it stays that way usually.
Yeah.
Very hard to
first impressions are important and such.
Yes, there is a way. How can I help you? That is one thing that we do have orders on. If you would not mind, could we please confiscate an automatic weapon from one of your men? As we do not find that civilians need automatic weapons other than the fact of killing each other. The infected are quite easy to handle otherwise.
Well, unless you're willing to escort someone with me permanently, mate, I think fucking not, let's be honest.
Johnny, just give him the rifle. It's not a big deal.
You could just get a single-fire bolt-action rifle, a shotgun, a pistol.
No,
Hold on in the air, it's loaded.
You just be very fucking childish.
Okay.
Johnny.
You throw the, the high-grade Russian rifle.
Hey, real the boy, you must
I
understand this
could've
is
been
his
at the
rifle.
pad.
He found it. I can understand being unhappy that we are taking it. I do not fault the man. I do not fault him at all.
Okay,
I understand.
don't worry.
I would recommend that
maybe
something out of their fucking
you
plans.
should compensate him for something else, maybe? So he doesn't
There's
feel...
a revolver on his chest. What else do we need to compensate him with?
I mean, you made him take his gun off. Maybe give him
We'll do
something
our
not
job, you do
rewarding.
yours.
Well, unless anyone has a shotgun or a single fire action rifle, I do not.
Hey, he's got the pistol still on it. He doesn't even know.
Do you have
that.
ammunition for that pistol, civilian?
I have a name, it's Johnny, and yeah, I do. It's alright.
Alright, Johnny. Well, we are going to be setting something up here for you, you civilians. If you are interested in the future, this may perhaps be a safe area for you to come. But as of yet, we are still discussing things. And I would like to get back to the discussion if you do not mind. I won't hold you up any longer. I'm wasting your time. So.
Yeah, we didn't really mean to stop you there.
No, of course, there's no trouble.
We'll be on our way. Pleasure running into you all.
Trouble. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting you as well, Milo, and others.
Right, you guys ready to head out?
Yeah.
I
guess
guess
so,
what
man.
to do.
Get the fuck out of
Right, back to business.
Mr. Todd. Of course.
See ya.
Well,
I guess
now
everyone
that-
who wears those clown masks isn't so bad.
I could certainly understand. They are rather well constructed, sturdy. I could see them being used as a last-ditch defense against scratches and bites.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same as a ballistic mask, but those aren't exactly lying around everywhere.
True. If I was in a hit situation, I'd use what's at my disposal. I must say it's got a bit of a creepy overtone to it, but maybe I'm looking too far into it.
So, Commander, what do you think of this town now that you were looking at it? I see a nice large area over there where we could set up tents and stretchers and whatever else you need.
Yes, this barn complex here. These walls are sturdy. They should be tall enough to keep out the grays. I see some of them already in there, but I'm sure we could take care of that.
They must have wandered in. Rio Devoy, make sure that the rest of the complex is clear.
Да.
But as you can see, we can patrol this road. We can make sure that it's clear. We can go from the airfield to here in a matter of minutes. If someone attacks you, we will show up. They will die. Simple.
Oh, I like that concept. Dr. Capella, I'd like to have you investigate the interior of these facilities. Now, I don't want you to see them as they are. Obviously, you're going to see some old, dirty barns that probably haven't been upkept in a decade, but look at the potential of them. If we could lay out some clear plastic wrap from some of the nearby stores, maybe get some sterile medical supplies from nearby hospitals.
There is actually a small medical building in the town next to this one. Our scouting teams located it last time they went through it. There might be some leftover medical supplies there for you to check.
That doesn't sound too much of a push now, does it, sir? How far is this town, to be exact?
Probably about a 5-minute walk down the road. These Russians like to put their towns close to each other, I guess.
Sir, thoughts, please?
Well, anything that we can use to scratch together some supplies is worth doing. According to the intelligence I've received, there's also this clinic in Vybor, just down the way there. That also might be suitable.
That is a town in the other direction. This is why we have chosen this location. It is prime. It is absolutely prime. It's in the middle of both of these wonderful locations, and it's close to the airfield which we control. This is why the
There's a
Capitan
map on
requested this specific location. Ugh, another man, these people.
Sir, I mean, I'm...
Rear the void, one of you go
clinic,
check it out. If it's a problem, tell me over the radio. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Continue, please.
The clinic, it may help, but I mean, if we have any sort of people who know where drugs are based too, and I'm not saying that they do, but they take pleasure off of it, it may cause the hassle of us continuing our work, yes, so maybe the barns would be best, plus the ventilation with the open doors can help. The greyskins, they seem to give off a putrid odor, which we still need to find out whether it is a hormonal or something else. So.
Understood. Well, I think we may have a quite an opportunity on our hands here, to be honest. If we can secure this location and have easy access to both the medical clinic and the town down the road and the other direction as well, we could find ourselves with a wealth of resupply, a secure area in which to conduct our research and our operations in the region.
I believe if Dr. Pritchard took over the clinic for civilians would be best, and autopsies could be carried out in the barn to avoid any discomfort and contamination of the building.
Very well. I'll see to it. I'll put relay the orders to Major, and the Major will make sure everything's set up properly and the doctor has what he needs. Dr. Pritchard, got it. Very good, Lieutenant. I think we have an accord. If we can set up our operations here, base ourselves from this area, I'd like to commandeer the nearby church as a UN command post for me and my Major and our peacekeeping efforts. This facility we're standing in now will be World Health Organization's base of operations for their research and medical care. I'll get word to our quartermaster that we need to make supply runs to both the towns this direction and that direction for medical supplies. And we'll need to open up formal radio communications with your organization in case of any, any hostilities show up.
Yes, of course. Did the Capitan inform you of our frequency as of yet?
Yes, I spoke with the Capitan earlier. The one he gave me...
Good.
He gave me 93.7.
93.7. I think that is correct. I think that is his personal frequency, so that's good. You can contact him directly, and he will inform the rest of us. Let's see. It's Rear the Void.
Da.
Oh, Jesus.
There are many of us around. I don't know what you want.
Very good, Private. Very good. I suppose I should give you a more public frequency. Try 73.7. If you cannot get in contact with the Capitan directly, try that. That might help you better. One of the privates will make sure that they hear it. I keep one of those bastards having the radios on that frequency at all times. Oh, good.
Understood.
Good. All right. Well, I'm glad we can reach the accord. This is much better than explosions in the water.
Very good. Lieutenant, you will just need to pass along not only my thanks for this meeting, but also our terms here. We'll be happy to conduct our operations in this facility and abide by any guidelines outlaid by the Capitan. Just let him know that, of course, we will also expect similar guidelines to be followed by Russian personnel during their time here. UN guidelines, obviously the Geneva Convention. I have no problem, obviously, with what took place up there. Taking automatic rifles, military-grade weapons away from civilians is a sensible precaution to take.
And that is one thing that I would ask that you continue as well. Do not allow anyone with military-grade rifles walking into your area. It's just going to cause problems, because we don't need one civilian cracking under the pressure and spraying down the rest of them, yes?
That sounds reasonable. I think we can follow that order. Yes.
Good. Just be aware that I think you will have much work on your shoulders. There's been many civilians that I've run into that are looking for a place like this. Every single one about, actually. They're all looking for a safe place that they can call home, and this might be it, but it won't be easy.
Well, Dr. Capella, we'll set this area up as a medical area, but in addition, with the exception of the church, which will be a sort of military command post, perhaps we can, I don't know, secure some of these derelict buildings, these homes down the road here. If we find ourselves flush with refugees and unable to manage, maybe we can secure some of the doors, occupy the houses with refugees, and at least keep them out of our hair somewhat, and give them a safe place.
We have been keeping track of every civilian we've run across. I recommend possibly that you do the same, possibly hand out some sort of identification and the like. If they do not have it already. Because we've come across quite a few civilians who seem to have lost their IDs. No driver's license, no passports, nothing.
Well, that's to be expected. I could certainly sympathize with that. But yes, our patrols, our patrol leaders often come up with patrol reports. They'll identify the names of every civilian they come across, and we'll keep logs.
Which one now?
I apologize for interrupting you. Yeah, which one again? We have a civilian walking along the road. Go talk to him. I do not know who he is. He's right down the road there. Sorry about that. I don't want anyone interrupting this meeting.
Whatever it is.
Quite alright.
Is there anything else you would need? As the Capitan says, you have our full resources at your disposal if you need escorts along the roads, if you're going to be doing a convoy of any kind with the truck, you have our support.
It's Rory.
Very well. I'll organize with my command and come up with a migration plan and schedule, and we'll relay the schedule to you once we know what's going on.
The Russian military.
Very
well. Have you been processed by us?
Very good, Lieutenant. Thank you very much for your hospitality, and pass my regards along to your Capitan.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we're doing this more militaristic. I can get behind that.
Very well.
Good. This is good. Absolute pleasure meeting with you and everyone else. And I look forward to working with you all in the future.
Certainly. I think we're going to save a lot of lives together, Lieutenant. Alright, peacekeepers.
Absolutely.
You ready to mobilize, get south, and regroup to Sierra Romeo with the rest of the peacekeepers?
There's nothing missing in
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, sure.
Very good. Alright. Let's make our way south. First, I think we should, let's see.
My friends have been processed.
One moment, let me just look at the map for a second.
Occupation. I worked as a...
Sir, I was looking at the map earlier. If we just follow this road, it goes straight down to Zelenogorsk.
Before that, I was a med student.
Well, let's head that way then.
Rory Taylor. She's been processed, but she's missing some information.
I see.
Any family?
They're all back in the U.S., sir. And I'm glad that they are.
Triple triple time.
Yes.
Maybe so.
We should probably get a move on.
Who goes, guys?
Actually, let me turn my radio back on.
American?
Yes, American.
Sound resumed.
So,
We are going to be
Sound microphone activated.
Alright, Sandman 1, this is Sandman Actual. Come in, over.
Sandman Actual, this is Sandman 1. Go ahead, over.
Sandman Actual, diplomatic negotiations with the Russian Federation have concluded. We will be returning to Sierra Romeo at this time. We are heading south from town of Cabanino, where negotiations have taken place. Heading south this time, ETA approximately 10 minutes.
Understood.
15.
Sandman Actual.
10 is not No escape.
At grid reference.
Falcon 5 is Sam and actual.
Falcon 5, this is Sandman Actual. Go ahead, over.
What are your grid coordinates? I just passed the hill where that military base is. Over.
Very good. We're heading that direction. Private, head east of your current location and link up with the paved roadway and wait on the road. We'll link up. Over.
Simon Actual, this is Simon 1, over.
Sandman 1, this is Sandman Actual. Send it. Over.
Simon Actual, we have heard gunfire at grid coordinate 038093. I repeat, 038093. But advise to try to stay clear of that area. Over.
Hold position 1 second. I need to...
Falcon 5 to Sandman Actual. May I please get your grid coordinates?
038093.
Falcon 5 is Falcon Actual. I recommend you turning up your radio. Over.
Don't just stand there, Frank. Get a perimeter.
Holy shit. There was a woman back there that wanted to speak to you.
Oh.
A woman?
Yes, I think she said she was U.S. ambassador to Trinidad.
There's one with the white armband and the red shirt.
Da.
Did you say U.S. ambassador?
That's what I believe.
Fuck? Uh-huh.
Her name is Rory.
Seems legit.
Let's see. According to our reports, the embassy was overrun. We lost all contact. All personnel were assumed dead. If she's who she says she is.
Should have an ID on
is that her over there?
She was at our camp. She was at our camp earlier today. I saw her.
That was her.
How could she get all the way from Novigrad to here in such a short time?
She would also need an ID, like, yes? Maybe.
You gentlemen are quick. I apologize for holding you up once again, but I have two things I need to talk about. First, this woman would like to speak to you. She heard you were Americans in UN. She found it imperative that she spoke to you, so I figured I'd send one of my privates to come catch you since she could not run herself. However, in possible more important news, she ran into a CDF lieutenant apparently. And apparently he said, what was it? Could you repeat what he said?
We met him, and I asked him if he knew of any U.S. troops, because I was looking for them. He told me there is no such thing as a safe zone, and so I told him about, how the Russians helped me, and he said, well, the Russians don't know shit, and you're picking the wrong side if you trust them, blah, blah, blah. And then he said something like Slava Chernoris when he left, or something. I'm not really sure.
Yes, I do not know if this
something
man
like that,
is
yeah.
actually CDF. I assume he is if he was in the
he
uniform.
was wearing, he was wearing the uniform. He was following us into the forest for a while, and then he said that we're picking a war or something. I don't really know.
Right,
but
and this is what I came to inform you about. As much as our alliance might make me happy, you must be prepared for the CDF's reaction, apparently. I didn't think we'd have a problem with them as we just met with the lieutenant yesterday, but apparently they have a problem with us. So just be aware that they might not exactly be very happy about it.
It might just be a black sheep in their ranks. I don't really know.
It is possible. He's just a lieutenant. Yes, but he is an officer of the CDF, and his words carry weight.
I'll keep this in mind when I talk with the CDF. I've already received a radio request to meet with them, but to be honest, there have been a lot of dead CDF shambling about Greys. It's very easy to acquire one of their uniforms. We've had many UN imposters just in the last 48 hours alone, so I'll keep an open mind about it, but I will bring that into my negotiations.
Of course, I'm just warning you. I'm warning you that, you know, I love working with you. This seems like it's going to help a lot of people, but just know that they might be unhappy about it.
I'll keep that in mind.
User joined your
Excellent.
channel.
Anyway, Commander, I'm going to leave you to your conversation with this woman. He came to speak with you. We're going to go ahead and head back to the airfield to make sure it's still secure.
Very good. Thank you for the assistance again, Lieutenant.
Have a wonderful day, gentlemen, ladies.
One moment.
До свидания.
Good day.
Do you happen to know anyone by the name of Justin Liu?
Justin. What was the last name again?
He says he's UN, but he couldn't provide any ID.
Another imposter.
Justin Liu?
If not any of our men, Lieutenant, if any of your men, during the course of your investigation or patrols, come across anyone claiming to be a United Nations peacekeeper, and they don't know my name, Colonel Jack Ripley, and they're unable to provide UN identification, I would advise you to treat them as a mentally unstable person. If they have any firearms, please, for their own safety, remove them. And caution them not to identify themselves as UN.
Lieutenant, maybe you should have a challenge in the pass rate. If they know it, then they prove to be UN.
Well, this identification, does it have their photo on it? Does it have... Is it personal
Yes, sir,
identification?
Here, I'll show you.
Falcon 5 to Salmon Actual, what's your current location? Over.
Here, it looks like this. It's got a photo, it says United Nations, it's got their name, number, and
Falcon 5, this
It's
is
all
Viper
on there.
Actual,
There's no way to
and
fake it.
Sandman Actual is currently busy in the middle of a conversation.
I don't exactly think this would be easy to fake, so we should just check them for these IDs. If they do not have them, I will assume they are not UN. So make sure that your men do carry these IDs. Do not let them lose them, or they will be treated as hostile. Likely be detained for
I'll
questioning.
make sure they all have their ID. If they don't have their ID and they don't know the name Colonel Jack Ripley, they cannot provide the name Colonel Jack Ripley to you, I would treat them as a mentally unstable person who likely either killed personally one of my peacekeepers or simply took advantage of a dead peacekeeper to identify themselves as one for some reason. Strange emotional reaction to the break, perhaps. I don't know.
Yes, I think that the former is the more likely of the two, so we'll treat them very carefully. I thank you for everything that has happened thus far, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Likewise, gentlemen, what did they say? Das Vidania, and good luck.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Alright, privates, let's move out. Good luck to you, civilian. What was your name? I feel rude. What was your name, civilian?
Oh, my name's Rory. Rory Taylor. Good to meet you guys.
Rory. Thank you.
We have her.
Alright.
Mhm.
I know. I just wanted to personally remember her name. I felt bad. I've been talking
Alright.
to her multiple times and I did not remember.
I'm not very social. Sorry, guys. I have some questions. We've been looking for American military for a while now and couldn't find any. Me and my friends were in a refugee camp in the southern town of Balota. We were there for a couple of days and were told that there was going to be a rescue mission. Everyone was going to get driven out to some western town. I don't really know what town, but we weren't in the main camp in Balota. It was full, so they stationed us on the hill just outside of it in a warehouse for a couple of days. We could see all of Balota though. It was very close. Anyway, there was 2 officers with us and about 15 of us. There's some of my friends and everything. So on the morning of the 21st, when there was going to be this rescue mission, we woke up. The officers were gone, and we went down to the main camp, and everything was deserted. No one was there. So we didn't know where to go. Everyone just kind of left us. So we met a fisherman down by the shoreline. He was getting his family out to some islands. and he told us that apparently there was in the town of Vybor was UN troops or some sort of UN helicopters, or not UN, sorry, US military troops and helicopters flying by to pick up any civilians they see. So we made our way up here 2 days ago and couldn't really find anyone besides the Russians who helped us. So I've been trying to look for anyone from the US military to, give me some answers about what happened and why we were left
We have
behind.
contact running towards us, towards the hill. Sorry to interrupt.
One moment.
That could be Falcon 5. I gave him
That
our
could be,
location.
Yes, it looks like him.
Yeah, that's
I
Falcon
remember
5.
that,
I recognize that.
that goofy
Oh,
run.
Falcon 5. Okay. Alright.
God help us. Anyway, Miss Taylor. Yes, I'm aware that some elements of 8th Regiment United States under UN command, 1st Battalion and 2nd Battalion. I believe 1st Battalion was deployed to the western border. 2nd Battalion was supposed to be on the eastern edge of the region, but we lost contact with them overnight. No distress call was made. Investigations into the area has not revealed any clues to the whereabouts or what happened to them. There were many dead soldiers and abandoned uniforms, but it's unclear to me if they abandoned their posts or if they were overrun or something more nefarious took place. But I wish I could have some answers for you, ma'am, but I'm still looking for them myself.
Yes, sir, I understand. It's not like they forgot we were there. We just weren't in the main camp. We were up on the hill. It really wasn't far at all, and there were officers with us. At least they knew that they had to go, but no one told us. We just woke up in the morning to everyone gone. We're stuck here. Some CDF guy comes up to me and tells me to get out of his country. I'm not even in this country on my choice. I would have been out of the country, but it's not like I had a choice to, get told or anything. Like, I tried my best.
Interesting. Very well. And if you don't mind my asking, Miss Taylor, you share a name with a certain American politician located in the region.
I do.
And a relative of yours, perhaps? Or just a coincidence?
No, sir. All of my family are in the U.S. I'm probably dead, but who knows. What was that explosion earlier?
Well, we'd very much like to know as well. There was a large explosion about 4 hours ago that had no warning. We had no advanced knowledge of it and no idea what its intention was or who sent it. The Russians have denied any knowledge of it as well, and I've contacted the CDF and haven't gotten an answer yet, so it's unclear to me at this time. The United Nations was not apprised of it.
Excuse me, ma'am, but they mentioned that you were a part of the U.S. Embassy. Do you have an ID card or anything?
No, ma'am. I'm not part of the embassy. I worked in
I
a
suppose I missed
forestry.
communication on their part.
Oh, I was in a forestry. Well, I was just a secretary. I wasn't here for long. I was maybe 3 weeks, a little less, something like that. It wasn't anything big. Just look for a new start, I guess. But it wasn't anything of matter. It was just a, company that specialized on forestry and agriculture, stationed in Chernogorsk.
Alright, thank you, ma'am.
That's all right.
I appreciate it.
Well, Amen, actual. I hate to cut the story short, but it's really not smart to just sit out here waiting in this field for someone to come up on us.
I agree.
I think we should
move back to Sierra Romeo. Ma'am, you're more than welcome to come with us to Sierra Romeo. It's safe as can be.
I gotta go pick up my friends. They're somewhere in that direction in the town. Do you have... Yeah.
Ma'am, did Do you happen to be friends with a guy named Milo who wears a clown mask?
No, ma'am. I've met him, but I am not friends with him.
Okay, alright, thank you.
Also, do you have any doctors?
Yes, ma'am. We have about a dozen World Health Organization representatives on staff, pathologists,
Alright,
hematologists, general
good to
practitioners.
hear. Well, one of our friends, when we were talking to the Russians, he told them that he got hit by an infected, and now they believe that he's infected, but we haven't really gotten the chance to see a doctor and get him examined or anything, so, I mean, is that a possibility to do?
Maybe. Where's Dr. Capella? Where'd she run off to? She...
Right behind
Dr.
you.
Capella. Doctor, do we have any sort of testing in place yet for this this illness? Any symptoms that you've observed that might be indicative of the illness?
From what I have seen currently, without carrying any autopsies, is it has a few signs of what I assume to have been Ebola, but things don't match up. If there's any breakages of the skin or rashes, red eyes, or like crying blood, that may be one of the signs that we've currently seen.
I would be more than happy to accompany Dr. Capella to Cabanino in order to check him out, perhaps bring him back to base of operations.
You'd be most welcome. We're in the process of, well, returning to Sierra Romeo right now to debrief them on negotiations. If it's all right with Dr. Capella, it's all right with me.
We're currently trying to find out the symptoms and confirm them properly. We're still in the stages of figuring out what this is exactly. But we could offer a psychologist to see if his behavioral patterns change. Right now, we don't have
I'm okay with
anything
whatever.
to...
Excuse me, I'm being deep. This is Viper Actual to Sandman 1.
We don't
Roger.
really have anything currently to help if he is a grey skin, but if it's just a structural wound, it
Sandman 1, this is Viper Actual.
it should have... When did this happen? Sorry?
I'm not too sure. I think he told them like 2 days ago or something. I don't really know.
We've had some people report being struck by these greyskins. It's been more than 2 days and nothing's happened to them so far.
Alright. Well, let's
but
hope for the best, I guess.
I'm sure Dr. Pritchard and Dr. Mason could look at him. Yes?
If they're around,
right
they
now,
should have the
he's
time.
asleep, I guess. But
none of the doctors are awake, but I'm sorry, I can't really I don't really specialize in patients. My job is more research. My apologies, miss.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. It's okay. I appreciate all of your help. I'm gonna see if I can get back to my friends and make sure they're okay. Thank you again.
Very good, Miss Taylor. We'll keep our ears open to 96.6. If your friend starts getting any worse, takes a turn for the worse, let us know. We'll do what we can to
yes, sir.
aid him. Them.
Yes, sir, I
Very
will.
good. Take care of yourself, Miss Taylor. We'll be in the area.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Sound resumed.
Alright. Well, if we want to make it back home before sundown, we should triple time it.
Do we have a Geiger counter at TR Romeo?
Negative. It's not some of the equipment we were equipped with. We were not expecting
Sandman 1.
explosives to be
Yes.
anything we were dealing with.
Viper Actual to Sandman 1. We are leaving the position that we were in, and we're headed towards Sierra Romeo.
I think the sergeant's a little tongue-tied over there.
15 minutes.
Viper Actual, this is Simon 1, that's solid copy.
Been hitting the bottle too hard.